Morning, everybody. Welcome into the 815 Sports Podcast. Jake and I here for our first video in months
Yep.
since the Super Bowl. Today's video, we're going to talk about the Cubs season so far and kind of the outlook and expectations going forward. They've looked pretty promising so far. They've had one of the toughest schedules in baseball to date, and they're sitting at 22-17 and in first place by 2 games in the Central. The outlook for their next, what we talked, was it 6 series? Is against teams with records below 500. So, Jake, if you want to go ahead and kick it off.
So, yeah, as cliche as it's going to sound, he mentioned that the Cubs have had the hardest schedule, not one of, it's the hardest schedule in baseball to this point. They have played one series, I believe, that is a team under 500, and it'd be the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know Oakland was around 500 when we played them, but now they're well over 500, and they're fighting for first place in the whatever, AL West, whatever division they're in. But the Cubs have looked good. Now, I think that their offense has maybe overshadowed, or how do I say this, has made up for some of the stuff that's not
Pitching
that
woes.
good, like the bullpen. And to be honest, the Cubs have had some errors, obviously, at third base.
Yeah.
Dansby and Nico, obviously, is one of the best up the middle. Even they've had some errors, but you're going to have those.
The outfield's pretty stellar.
I would say I have zero complaint at any right, left, or center for the Chicago Cubs. Obviously, PCA runs down balls that not many players do.
He hasn't missed one this year yet. He's got 1,000 fielding percentage.
So I mean that's unbelievable. Haps another Gold Glove in left field, and Tucker, I don't know if is he a Gold Glove in right? I think he has been. I don't know if he will be this year, but. So the outfield set, and I don't say it doesn't really play the outfield, so we don't need. I mean, that's their outfield, those 3 players. The infield, obviously third base is a
work in progress.
It's a joke. Since the start of the 2024 season, the Chicago Cubs have had, I believe, now that Nicky Lopez plays, has had 9 starting third basemen for a team that was in first place for half of last year and all of this year. That's just insane to me that a first place team doesn't have a third baseman. Well, we could have, but you would overpay, and then you probably wouldn't have got Tucker, right? I think that they going down that path. I think the Cubs made the right call on Tucker and not. I know he came over in a trade,
could have had both.
They could have had both.
Get the pocketbook out.
And they still can. Now they're gonna have to pay PCA and Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
So starting pitching's a toss up right now. So we can dive into the starting pitching. They don't really. It's not that good.
No.
That's why I'm saying a 22-17 record for the Cubs right now. You have to be through the roof, like very excited about that record, because you have lost Steele now. How long's he been out for? Maybe 3 weeks, a month. I don't know. Has it been that long?
Probably at least a month, but
So
he's
lost
not going to be back the whole year.
And now you've lost Seiya for a week, and he's
Shota?
my bad. You've lost Shota for a week. He's probably going to be another 2 weeks out, so he's probably going to miss 2 more starts at least. I would think he comes back probably. I'm trying to think of who they're playing. Maybe in the Red Series, because you play the Marlins, the White Sox, the Marlins. You could probably see Shota come back versus the Cincinnati Reds. But look, the front office has to make a move. Okay. They either need to make a move. Well, in fact, they need to make a move for starting pitching, but they also need to make a move to solidify the third base spot. Because are we just going to do this carousel of starting 4 different players, whoever's playing good at the time?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Nicky Lopez is, I don't even know if I'd call him serviceable. Would you? I don't think I'd call Nicky Lopez a serviceable third baseman. I would think if that was your backup, then that'd be very serviceable. But they have to go out, and the front office has to make a move.
I think they were banking on Shaw being, stellar to start the year, and then them looking really smart for not signing Bregman. And instead, Shaw's still working through some things.
Well, the Cubs the Chicago Cubs like to win cheap. It's the only way I can think of it and put it. They like to win cheap. You knew you needed a third baseman. You knew Matt Shaw has only been around for a couple years, maybe 2, 3.
Hasn't really played in the majors, though.
Hasn't played in the majors, so you call him up opening day and be like, here's the keys.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that there was probably going to be struggles, so you didn't have a backup plan. So now you've got no one who can play third base, and it's clear. You've started 4 different fucking players there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to lead the league in errors at third base. Have to. So they need to make –
Turner's been awful.
Justin Turner's he's been absolutely awful. I understand the clubhouse presence. He's probably a great guy. He's come through a couple times, but it's just when he's hitting in the 4 spot or the 5 spot,
it's a waste of a bat.
If he's not going to hit for power, he shouldn't be there. I mean, put him down at the 8 or 9. But
10 years ago, he was a stud.
Yeah, well, he's killed the Cubs in his past, but.
What do you think of Ben Brown so far this year? Ups and downs.
He's very shaky, and that's a problem because you get one good start, you get one bad start. You get one good start, you get one bad start. So how do you judge him? How do you judge Ben Brown? Is he a starter next year? Obviously, he's going to be a starter the rest of this year because they don't have any fucking buddy.
Mm-hmm.
But Ben Brown has looked good when you score first. So on the road. At home, Ben Brown normally his woes are early. So, like in Milwaukee, the Cubs got off to like a 6-0 lead.
Mm-hmm.
I think he pitched 6 or 7 shutout innings, but he was pitching with the lead. So he was pumping strikes.
Yeah.
When he's pitching from behind, he struggled this year.
What do you think of Kelly so far?
I think he's been more than you can ask for.
Yeah.
You got him to be the backup catcher, and I think he's played as many games as Miggy, if not more. And both of our catchers are hitting.
Mm-hmm.
They're hitting as good as probably catchers hit. So,
which is nice because Amaya couldn't hit the ball, at all last year and not really the year before. So,
but Carson Kelly's been way more than you can ask for. I believe he's a Chicago native or around the area.
Yeah, he is.
But let's dive into the Cubs' next 7 series. They right now, as it sits, they're 2 games above St. Louis, 3 Milwaukee, 3.5 Cincinnati. Now, a week ago, I believe that every single one of those were doubled, if not more. The Cubs had like a 5-game lead over almost every team in the division, maybe besides Cincinnati. But Milwaukee has flirted around 500. The Cardinals have played well above 500 over the last week or two, and now things have gotten tight. And I know it's May, but the Cubs need to right this ship these next 2 games and keep this lead because then you can build on it in these next. So he said 6. It's actually their next 7 series are versus teams under 500. That's 21 games. I've got their ceiling being 16-5 in the next 21.
That'd be nice.
If they go 14-7, that would be good. 12-9, I would say would be okay. Anything else is awful. Anything else is brutal, and you did not take advantage of those series. So I'm going to lean more towards 14-7, 13-8, because the Reds aren't terrible, and they're always a fucking thorn in the Cubs' side. So those 6 games kind of worry me. I would lean more towards, a little bit over 500, but you go 14-7, 15-8, or 15-6. That's terrific, and you probably build on that lead. You're probably looking at, if we do another one in 2-3 weeks, and you go 15-6, 14-7, you're probably looking at a 5-game lead over the Cardinals, 6 or 7 over Milwaukee, and since you played Cincinnati, if you go 4-2, 6 or 7, and probably a 14-game lead over Pittsburgh. So you would double going into June your division in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be the goal. That should be the Cubs' goal. You've got to win these games. But from another view, these teams that the Cubs are playing, you've got to go in and look at. They don't have none of their aces right now. So why can't we beat the Cubs? Or why can't we compete with them? I mean, you got Jamison Tyone, Matthew Boyd, and Ben Brown.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even who's the other Colin Ray.
Yeah.
And maybe Cade Horton. So
I think Horton's going to be good.
I hope so. Obviously that's their plan. I think
Yeah.
he's going to start in the bullpen. Today he might come in and pitch an inning or two, but the future is for him to be a starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, not bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
You these next 3 weeks are critical for the season. You have got to take advantage of them. If you do not, I don't think, say the Cubs go 12-9, I still think they would be a game or two out or still tied or in first. I don't think it's going to fluctuate that much because I don't think the Central's that good this year. So
it hasn't been that good, we've thought, for the past 4 or 5, 6 years.
So while you could go 12-9 and survive, but then we're kind of just like, how good are you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you good enough to win a playoff series? If you go 14-7, you're good enough to win a playoff series. If you go 12-9, which I know isn't that big of a difference, 12-9, 11-10, you're kind of just a little bit better than the mediocre teams.
Well, I mean, the bats have cooled down a little bit here lately, but I mean, if they get going again, I think they'll probably cruise.
You weren't going to score 6 and 7 runs every game.
I think they've already scored as many 10-run games this year as they did all of last year.
Yeah, obviously that's great, but you have to be able to win 4-3, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3. You have to be able to win those games, and it seems to me what I see, the Cubs cannot win close games. They either blow you out or they lose bad, like they did last night. When everything's clicking for the Cubs, they can beat anybody, obviously. But when the playoffs come and things really matter, they can't. It seems to be up to this point, they can't win close games because of the fucking bullpen. And that's a huge problem that they need to address. Will they? I don't know. You see it. When they beat you, they beat you.
Yeah.
I hope that game versus who do we just play at home? And we lost 2 or 3. That game in extra innings.
Oh, that was brutal.
God, I can't think of it.
Was it the Giants?
Okay, the Giants. They come back in the 9th and tie it 5-5. They get to the 10th, 5-5 with the Cubs have a guy in second. And then they go on to give up 9 runs. They've lost 3 in a row since then.
Yeah.
You just hope they didn't lose. I don't think they lost confidence, but they've kind of gone downhill since then. And you play the Mets 2 more times. The Mets are really good. Let's not forget that. But
I bet Frank likes that.
You didn't compete last night.
Yeah.
Frank loves it. You didn't compete last night. You got a bullpen start today. Does not look good.
No.
So we're sitting here at 22-17. Going Monday, they could very well be 22-19, and the Cardinals could sweep the Nationals, and we would be tied Monday for the Central Division, which I would take that. If you told me in March, if you laid it out till now and showed me all the teams the Cubs played who were good last year, all these teams were good last year besides, I don't think the Giants were that good, but obviously the Dodgers were, obviously the Padres were, the Rangers were. Who else have they played? That Arizona. That's 60-70% of your schedule. I would have taken tied for first with the Cardinals May 12th, whatever Monday will be. May 13th. I don't know what it'll be. I would have taken that.
12th.
So have the Cubs survived that brutal start? Yes. Because come Monday when it starts to relax, you'd be tied for first place at worst. But I don't want that, you don't want that to be the bar. I just feel like there's the front office and a lot of this fan base is just okay with mediocrity or a little bit better. You're 22-17. You're in first place. You've played the toughest part. You've played your toughest schedule in the league. Now that you've seen that, you should be trying to raise the bar.
They're not even a full quarter into the season yet.
I know, but you're not going to go through a stretch again where the Cubs play 4 series in a row versus teams 10 games above 500 ever the whole season. So, and before this series, before that last home series, you hadn't lost a series in a long time. So, I just feel like they should see that, and they should want to raise, like, hey, what we've done, now we're going to give you more pieces to be that, but maybe better. I just don't know if they'll do it.
Side piece. Do you think PCA or Tucker, you think one of them has a real shot to win, or both, the MVP?
No.
No?
I no, because I don't think that I hate to say this. I just think PCA is going to come back to more earth. Hitting wise, his defense isn't going to change. He's going to probably obviously win a Gold Glove, I would think. Stolen bases, I understand he's gotten thrown out the last 2 times maybe he's tried to steal. That's a very small sample size. I don't think that continues because you're going to start playing rougher teams. Now it's a problem that he's got thrown out versus teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs, but they're very good catchers. I think those numbers will continue to trend up. I don't know that he hits as well as he's hit the whole season. I just don't know if that's sustainable. I hope it is. I hope he does. I hope he hits 275, 280 the whole fucking year. And then, but I just don't. And I just think Tucker's just Mr. Reliable. I just think he's great, but I don't know that he's flashy. You know what I mean? When you think of Kyle Tucker, do you think flashy?
No, but do you have to be flashy to win?
I think you do.
You think Mike Trout was flashy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think Mike Trout.
Just because he was in L.A.?
I just, you know what I mean? I just kind of don't think Kyle Tucker on the Cubs win it. I just don't think it fits the narrative.
Well, at his current pace, he's on pace for 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And over 100 RBIs.
But there are also a couple other players like that.
But if the Cubs are first in the Central and have 100 wins.
I don't think they would have 100 wins. I'm
saying if.
Oh, then yeah, absolutely. Then things change if the Cubs continue to play how they're playing.
Yeah.
I just don't see either one of them winning it, just because I don't think it fits the narrative for MLB. It's not a good look because they don't hit majestic home runs. They just hit. Tucker's just reliable.
Did you see that new stat they're going to have next year with true home runs?
Yes, and I just talked.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't really know how to explain that to someone.
It's only going to be you have your home runs. It's a home run in
every ballpark.
Yeah. So you're going to have 2 categories for home runs.
That's fucking bullshit.
I don't like it. If it's out of the park, it's out of the park.
Well,
but they're saying because if you hit a home run in right field at Yankee Stadium,
it's a home run nowhere else in the major leagues.
That's what they're saying. That would not be considered a true home run.
What about the pesky pole in Boston?
That would not be considered a true home run.
What about a basket shot in Wrigley?
It would only be a true home run if it could go out of every stadium in the Major League Baseball.
That's just stupid. Here I go. I'm gonna fucking rant. That's stupid because all of these MLB ballparks are fit for the MLB restrictions and guidelines.
Yeah.
If they fucking weren't, you wouldn't be able to play there.
Yeah.
Why are we able to play games in these minor league ballparks like the Oakland A's and the Tampa Bay Rays?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't get okayed if they didn't fit the guidelines. So why are we going to punish players for hitting a ball? How far is it?
310, 320, 330.
That's the pesky pole. It's probably more at Yankee Stadium. Was it 320?
It ain't far.
Why are we? I feel like you're punishing players.
Well, and it just depends on how many people are actually going to sit up there and argue. Well, that wasn't a true home run. Because I think most people are going to look at it as, well, it's still a home run, went out of the park. You know what I mean? But you might have 500 home runs and only 350
now, are we going to go back?
Runs.
Are we going to go back in time and change all of the past then?
I'm not going to do it. I don't know. I don't even
Sammy
like that they're coming up with a
Sosa
stat. But
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, like Babe Ruth, like let's dive into it. MLB nutheads, are we gonna go back that far and every fucking home run Babe Ruth? Well, now granted, they probably built a new stadium, but
Yeah, he used to play like the Polo Grounds, and
yeah, but
that was like
that wasn't there. Was that their home stadium?
I don't remember.
Whatever. There were still short. I mean, the pesky pole in Boston's been around for how long? Fenway Park, the basket at Wrigley Field's been around for how long? They haven't
The Green
changed.
Monster.
They haven't changed Wrigley and Fenway. So are we going to go back and change Big Poppy's home runs that he hit down the right field line to not true home runs? Because I guarantee if you do, he's going to come. He's going to come for you. Those guys are going to come for you. It's not right. It's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I wonder who come up with the idea.
It's probably some fucking meatball that's all he does is stats. Doesn't really watch the fucking games and said, hey, that's not a true home run in 31 ballparks. Let's change that. No. Stick to your stats and let everybody else worry about the game. It's not. I don't like it at all. I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
But the Cubs need back to the Cubs. They need one more starting pitcher. They need to figure out their third base spot.
How do you feel about the late innings of the bullpen?
It's sickening. I think Porter Hodge has been really good.
Yeah.
I think Brad Keller has been very serviceable. I think Daniel Palencia has been good when he's pitched. When he can find the strike zone, he's unhittable because he throws 100, he's like in that 100, 101, 102 range every time he throws it.
Mm-hmm.
Julian Merriweather should probably not pitch again for the Chicago Cubs. It's as nice as I'll say it. Who am I missing? Ryan Presley has been, I would say he's been bad after a few nice starts. I don't think
but better off than Merriweather.
Yes, I don't know that he's your closer. I just feel like, again, it's a fucking carousel in the bullpen like it is at third base. It's get on the goddamn Ferris wheel and go round and round, and when it stops, it's your time to close or it's your time to start at third base. And for a fucking team that's in first place, I don't know why it's like that. Like, is that how bad the Central is? You've got two teams that are you've got three teams that are almost 500. The NL Central might not be that bad. Okay, can we say that? Because these teams haven't played each other a lot yet.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these teams are playing the whole league, and we've got four teams over 500 or 500. Is the Central better than what people think?
Maybe.
Or is it just a fluke? I don't know. Maybe the Central's better. Maybe the Cubs aren't going to roll through the Central like people thought. Maybe it's better. I mean, I don't really think it is, but I think when the Cardinals and the Brewers and the Reds are going to start playing some of the schedules and the teams the Cubs have played, they're going to lose. Maybe not, but we'll see.
I don't really have anything else, Jake. You got anything else?
No,
You think they're gonna pull one out tonight or no?
No.
Tomorrow?
Maybe tomorrow. I think they have a better chance to win tomorrow because you've got, is it Boyd? I don't know who starts tomorrow. Just these bullpen starts kind of scare me. But the Cubs have three players in the top 11 for home runs: Tucker, PCA, and Seiya. So
Kelly's not far behind with 8.
Yeah, I mean,
he's only played 23 games.
I think
this year.
that statistically, offensive-wise, I think the Cubs can continue to score runs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at the pace they were scoring them, but I think they can score them at a good enough pace to win. It's time the front office gives them the help they need, and I don't think they will. I think that the Cubs will be 6-7 games over 500 at All-Star break, maybe 10. And I think at the end of the year, they'll probably be the same. And that might be good enough to win the Central, but we're going to see in the playoffs, if they don't go out and get some help, why they don't win a playoff series. Because the front office didn't help them. That's all I got. Go 1-1 these next 2 games.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. We'll do some more videos here coming up. Sorry about the long break, but once football season gets back, we'll be
Well, if the Cubs keep playing well and it's a fun summer, it'll be more intriguing to do these.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe we will do more.
All right, everybody, enjoy your week.